Welcome back to this fabulous video, or welcome if you're new. I've missed you, or I've missed my usual people that were here last week. I am in a mood today, especially on this one because it's so fabulous, but I have a new Hot Fix rhinestone pin, so I decided to start making a bow. So with that being said, I am cutting some material. I have it folded up so I don't have to cut so many strips, but I didn't realize the way that it was folded, it was a lot of strips, so I had to cut a few of those in half. So, but these, when I fold it into threes, it's about 6 inches. So 6 times 3 is that 18? Yeah, 18 inches wide, and then you're gonna fold it in threes, and so it's gonna be 6 inches. So, but here I am taking, and it has two pieces. And what I should have done is folded it to where I had one, like, it's 18 inches, but they're folded in half. So technically it is like 32 inches. Is that 36 inches? And what I should have done is instead of the raw edge being on the outside where I like stopped it, or where it like overlaps, I should have done the folded part to overlap. That way it has a nice little fold. If not, I would kind of tuck that overlap in on itself so that it doesn't have the raw edges fraying out. But this one is for my daughter, so I honestly did not care. But once I pinned it, went over to the sewing machine, and or and I didn't show me sewing it, but I showed you like a demonstration of, like, me sewing the sides and with the pocket right there. So you want the pocket horizontal, or is it perpendicular? Horizontal when you're looking at it, perpendicular to to the way that you're sewing. So you're going to sew up and down, but you want that edge to be horizontal. And then you also want to make sure you cut those corners so that the corners are sharper, so that when you flip it inside out, I got a little bit of a stick. I got a stick, and I poked the corners. It was like a chopstick. If not, you can use a knitting needle or a pin. Just don't have it to where the pin's out, but or a pencil. Just take something and poke those corners in. But this is the new Hot Fix rhinestones. I got it on Amazon. I will have it linked down below. I said 30 seconds later. I think I did the first one 30 seconds, but the rest of them are 15 seconds, and I put a little timer on them. I got a little fancy and put a little time thing on, the video. But yeah, these do not come off. Once they're on, they are on. No fabric glue needed. It has the glue on back of the rhinestones, and what you're doing is heating up the rhinestones, and the glue heats up and then like attaches itself to it. Now, what you don't want to do is as soon as you let it go or let it off, do not touch them. I will show you why, but you got to let it cool off. One, they're super duper hot, but two, they will fall off like crazy, and I'll demonstrate that in a few seconds. But I wanted to show y'all a few like real time, um, a few of them in real time. So, and then I wanted to do a timer to show y'all, but I also wanted to do a few timers because I was like, I wonder if it's like the same time every single time. So this first time it was 14 seconds. So there we go, 14 seconds. And as soon as I touched it, it came off. So do not do that, because as you can tell, I put it back on, and I put the same one on, and it's still like I have not had it fall off. So again, doing 14 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and it's off. Wait a few seconds. You could tell I'm like, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. And then let it cool off for a few seconds, kind of mess with it. But I was also trying to be rough with them to see how much you have to do, because as you can tell, now that it's on there, it's on there. So just let it cool off for a few seconds. take every bit of you, or it takes every bit of me not to touch it, because I just want to touch it as soon as it's done, because it's just so satisfying. I just want to instantly, mess with it. But here we go. Another 14 seconds on the clock. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so that one was a little bit longer, but I did not have a timer when I was actually doing it, but it was fairly consistent, with the times that I put on there. So after I did a few, I'm going to time lapse this, but while it's time lapsing, I want to just tell y'all that these are hot fix rhinestones. If you don't know how they work, I explained it. Like I explained earlier, you heat it up with this tool. This tool is kind of like an iron, or a glue gun, so to say. It heats up a little pin, and the gold piece at the very end that's touching the rhinestone, that is a piece that can screw on or screw off. And there's different sizes for the different size rhinestones that you use. So when you put these in the tool or screw them in the tool, they heat up so that you can heat up the rhinestones. When you heat up the rhinestones, it melts the glue on the back, and the glue adheres to whatever surface you put them on. Now, it only works on porous surfaces, so you cannot use this on metal. If you use this on metal, it will not stick. It will ooze off and all kinds of stuff. But here is how I'm placing them, and I am scrunching up the bow to see how far the rhinestones need to go and what spaces I need to avoid for the creases or for the folds, so that I don't have any rhinestones that I'm trying to sew through. Because even though I would love to bedazzle this entire thing, you really can't. And I didn't want to rhinestone it after I sewed it, because I felt that if I did the rhinestoning after, I would have a different look or different placement. And I wanted to make sure the placement was as even as possible with the rhinestones. I did not want to skip any spaces. I did not want to avoid any spaces just because there was a fold. So I did that little trick where I just folded it and checked one side to make sure it was fine. I did run out of the sample rhinestones. I only had, as you can tell, that many, except for that one. The one I'm doing now is mine, but the rest of those, that's how far I got with the sample rhinestones that came with the gun or the pin. And I'm doing the rest with mine, SS20 rhinestones, and they seem about the same quality as these. And the quality that I have, they're not Swarovski crystals, but they are like pretty much the closest, cheapest thing to the Swarovski crystals. So they're made to imitate the real Swarovski crystal rhinestones. They're not like any other hot fix rhinestones that I've dealt with that are not even labeled Swarovski, or they're not supposed to be like Swarovski. They're just HTV regular, or not HTV, regular heat or hot fix rhinestones. But the hot fix rhinestones that are like, they say like Swarovski, I could have sworn that there was like some fancy word, but I think it's just Swarovski imitation rhinestones. But when I even look it up online, they just say Swarovski crystal rhinestones, and it's like $6 for a bag of them. So I guess it's really not like, it's not real Swarovski, but online it said it's the style cut. That's why it's called Swarovski. So maybe that's just maybe it's just the style of rhinestones. But here I am folding it accordion style to kind of see, and I'm fluffing it out and just making sure the shape of it is where I want it to be before I sew it together. And when I sew it, I'm going to be using a quilting thread and a quilting needle so that I know that it's thick, or not thick. I know that the thread is nice and strong and thick, and it's not going to go anywhere. It has to deal with my daughter. My daughter is very rough on everything. She even tore up a few bows recently because she wanted to use it to use as a rope or something, and I was like, what gets that through, whatever. So I had to refix one of her other bows, but after I wrap it around a few times, I did sew it through twice, and I wrapped it around, and then I made a knot. I just went under all of the strings and then looped back into that loop and just pulled it tight a few times. And then I got some ribbon. I didn't feel like making my own knot in the middle, but I got a ribbon. I wish I would have done the knot with the ribbon, but I just wrapped the ribbon around, and I show these three glues, but all three of them I put on them, so I can't really tell you which one I used because I used all of them. And then I got it to stay overnight. I used a clothespin and just clamped it, and then I wrapped around the ribbon, and then I used a hot glue gun to do the metal. And this is a no crease hair clip that I used, so it is not going to crease my daughter's hair whenever I put it in there. And I got it at a store called Dollar Mania, and it came in like a huge pack with these, but you can also get them at Sally's. But here is the final look with the ribbon attached and the rhinestones, and here's my daughter wearing it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm going to make some more bow videos, and I'm also going to do a quilted line series, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Bye!